Welcome everyone to round 5 of the iRacing.com V8 Supercar official online series, proudly presented by the v8sonline Superstore, Direct Clutch Services and V8 Supercars fan group. Jay Kennedy in the host chair for round 5 at Virginia International Raceway. Alongside me I've got Corey Slade. G'day Corey.
Yeah, g'day Jay, g'day everyone. It's good to be back in the comments box, although being Virginia I'd love to be out there. It's an absolute ripper little racetrack. Yeah,
one of the best tracks we go to by far, and a man that we know that loves it a great deal. Josh Muggleton's joining us for our hot lap tonight. G'day Muggo.
G'day guys, how are we?
Very good mate, excited to be here.
Oh yeah, been waiting for this one to come back for a while now.
Obviously a favourite for you and everyone else in the series.
Yeah. Just a great track, and it's got a bit of everything. There's places where you got to really commit and go balls out, and then there's other places where you got to be really delicate and feed the power on. So it's a real challenge of a track and very rewarding when you get it right.
Yeah, it's much better than Phillip Island, isn't it?
I'll say it's better than Phillip Island, yeah.
I think we were talking earlier in the week, Corey, we said it was like Bathurst but without the walls against the edge of the track.
Yeah, that's the best way I can put it. I mean, for those that think this track is hard, they're in for a shock when we get Bathurst, but it is. I mean, it's got the fast sort of sweeping S's and a couple of those tight corners, but you know, as you said, it's like Bathurst without the walls. So if you go off, you're going to find yourself out farming, and there's a lot of grassy runoff around here.
What's your favourite part of this track, Margo?
It's got to be the S's, mate.
Yep.
There's four wheels in the air and foot to the floor, and just wait and see which way the car bounces. Sorry, so yeah, that's pretty good track.
Yeah, not too bad timing this week. You're only a couple of tenths away from pole.
Yeah, I'm still miles away from my Opti, which is disappointing. But yeah, hopefully hold on to the second row there and hopefully get a good start and go into turn 1 in P1.
Of course, fairly long race too. Pit stop tonight. You worked out a pit strategy?
Yeah, sort of. We've got one sorted out, but we'll see how the race goes first, I think.
Well, talk us through your hot lap, mate.
Alright. Try and keep the car straight, coming onto the main straight, feed the power on, up to 4th. Just waiting for those lights to flash up. Across the start finish line, find your braking marker. Now we're hard on the brakes. I'll go all the way back to 1st here to get it turned. Short shift to 2nd, feed the power on gently, up to 3rd. Tiptoe it in here and just balance the car nicely, try and keep some front grip in it. Feed the power on again so you don't slide. And this is real easy to lock the rears here and go sliding through. 2nd gear, just dancing on the throttle, try to keep it straight. Now feed the power on through these little S's. Now we come up to the best part of the track. You just got to pick your line and keep committed to it. You get it right, you get 4 wheels in the air. That was a bit ugly. Back to 4th for the left-hander. Lots of understeer, I'm off the track. Back to 2nd for Oak Tree. Keep it in tight. Now it's all about the exit. Don't hit Josh Beecroft. Now usually halfway through the race a bird will fly over here to keep you entertained. Aiming for the dirt on the right as a braking marker, hard on the brakes. Back to 2nd, use this curb to pull you around the corner. Feed it on, short shift to 3rd. Try and keep the wheel spin down. And just make a line through here. Hold 3rd again, wait for the car to be straight. Feed the power on, and that's a lap of Virginia.
Get exhausted from that, mate.
I'm a bit sick actually, mate. I've got a cold. So, yeah, takes more out of me this week than normal.
And also saw you did our hot lap earlier in the week that we were able to put up on YouTube. Thanks heaps for doing that for us this week, mate.
Yeah, that's alright. As soon as I saw you guys doing that, I knew we were coming to Virginia. I got in early and did the lap and sent it off to you, so you had no choice really.
Well, I actually did. You weren't the first to send one to me. I've had a
Oh,
couple come
really?
through, so I already got next week booked in. So yeah, a
Okay.
couple of guys, as soon as they heard who else had sent them through, they're like, "That's okay, well, that's fine. You can have my goes lap."
Oh, well, if I missed out on that, I would have been banging on the TeamSpeak door to do this one, so I got both this week, so I'm lucky.
Well, good luck tonight, mate. We know we love this track as much as you do, and we'll no doubt talk to you after the race. Thanks heaps.
Yeah, no worries, thank you. Hopefully the racing's nice and tight and good for the fans.
We hope so too. Should be, because it's always awesome at Virginia. Thanks, Mago.
Cheers, have a good call, guys.
Good luck, mate.
What an amazing track this place is. It's one of the most underrated, underutilized tracks probably in the world, and probably the one track that if V8 Supercars ever went back for a second race in America, this is where I'd like them to go.
Yeah, if we end up going, somewhere else in America, I mean, Road Atlanta's great, Mid Ohio is great, but I'd love to see the V8 Supercars around here. It's absolutely, it's amazing, and when you get one of those laps right around here, it's one of those tracks that you really feel like you've got it right. It's such a rewarding feeling when you cross that line. You're like, yep, I've done the best I can, and it comes up with a good lap time. But I'll tell you what, I'm really not liking the fact that I'm not out there this week.
Yeah, I'm a bit the same. I haven't had any chance to do any practice. I did a couple of laps of practice, and I just had a smile on my face the whole time I was crashing and didn't care. It was one of the best feelings ever to do laps of this track. So can't wait. Next season, it looks like if we get another say in the voting, we might have a longer race. So 24 laps tonight. We will see pit stops, and of course our man we'll catch up with later on tonight, Reese Gardner, v8sonline Insider. He'll be with us soon with some info. But before we get to qualifying, which isn't too far away, we'll run through the championship as it stands after last week. It was 4 rounds into the championship. Still a long way to go. I'm just trying to get it up on my screen so I can go through it with you. Underprepared. What we like around here, isn't it, Corey?
Oh, man, that's so professional we are.
So Justin Ruggie leads the championship, 988 points. Josh Muggleton in second, Mitch McLeod in third. That just shows the consistency that is needed to be right up the front of this championship. Madison down with that one poor round has dropped him back to 4th position. Lee Day doing a great job in 5th. Matthew Hill in 6th. Richard Hampstead only raced in 3 weeks. Is in 7th. Lee Ellis in 8th. Adrian Stratford 9th. And Marlon McMullen in 10th position. But good to see a few names within the top 20 as well. It's a really open championship this time around.
Yeah, it seems to be a little bit more mixed up than what we're used to seeing. But, with guys, obviously, with real life, things coming into play, and a couple of guys like Adrian Stratford and Lee Day coming into the series now, shaking up a bit. But, it's a lot different than what we've used to see, apart from, of course, Ruggie or Muggleton at the front.
Yeah,
But, I see Madison a little bit further down than we thought. Sorry, Jay.
Yeah, no, that was exactly what I was going to say. Mitch McLeod right up at the top of the pointy end of the championship, and Madison a little bit further down than we'd expect, but he's only in 4th. So, and also Hampstead, of course, missing a week, which has dropped him back a little as well.
Yeah, I mean, you say Madison, he's 4th, and everyone's like, oh, that's pretty good. But Madison being 4th, it must feel like he's down in about 30th.
Yeah, for him, he actually spent a week outside of the top 20, so a little bit of a different experience for him. But definitely still anyone's championship. Of course, if you're unsure or haven't watched our series before, the championship's decided over 12 rounds, but only the best 8 rounds count. So still a long way to go in this championship. And as always, it will tighten up towards the end of the series. Yeah,
once those drop weeks start to come into play, it really can shake and spice up the championship points. We've got some great tracks coming up as well. I mean, the likes of Sonoma Cup's returning this season, and something that I think everybody's looking forward to, Watkins Glen Classic, in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, cannot wait for that race. That's going to see the most passing we've ever seen in an online series, and you will not know who is going to win that race until the last corner. So that big long straight, they'll be passing side by side in the carousel nearly every lap.
So you can just blame you now when there's absolutely no passing.
Yep, that's right. It's all my fault. It will be anyway, so it's okay. Now, before we get to the qualifying results so far, we'll just make a bit of an announcement. Tomorrow night, we will be broadcasting a special event. A few of the guys have organised an iRacing State of Origin which should be interesting. I know a lot of guys are looking forward to putting on the blue or the maroon cars. Of course,
Yeah,
being
you
a
go the
Victorian,
Blues.
I honestly don't really care. No, I do care. That's a lie. Go Queensland.
The Blues going to go out there and get up the night before we actually do it in the real life rugby league event on Wednesday. I'm looking forward to that actually, but unfortunately, I'm going to miss out on tomorrow's Origin, which sucks. But definitely going to be good. Looks like there's a couple of interesting car and track combinations for it.
Yeah, heard some rumours about what they'll be. So I believe they were announced last night. So combinations include the Kia at Phoenix, which is an oval and road race. So sorry, the format is an oval and road race separated into two hearts, just like a game of rugby league, two halves. And the positions for the first race will dictate the starting positions for the second race. I think it starts with an oval race and ends with a road race at the same circuit. So we'll see some roval racing and some oval racing tomorrow night. Kia at Phoenix is an awesome combo. I know we've done a few laps around that Kia road course a few times, Corey.
Yeah, road course. That's an interesting one.
The Phoenix road course, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's
Been a long day.
It's an interesting little racetrack, that one. It's a bit like a street circuit. I remember I was speaking, I think it was Renz, actually was the one that told us about it, and it's probably the closest we've got on iRacing to a street circuit, I think.
Yep. Also the Monte Carlo SS at Las Vegas, and also the Corvette at Pocono.
Oh,
I know a few people. Yeah, I was about to say, where's Lewis Totomede? He'll be all over this. Yeah, of course, he'll be, if he's around, he'll be driving for Queensland. I don't believe he will be though. Now, I've just been told there are spots available to race tomorrow night. So if you are interested and are a member on iRacing and are happy to spend a bit of money on some extra content you may not have, then feel free to send a message to the guys on the Australia New Zealand forum and get involved if you would like to have a bit of a drive and get yourself on a broadcast. Now we will run through qualifying as it stands right now. Madison Down currently on pole position, almost 0.2 of a second to Justin Ruggie, which is a massive gap in this series. It's amazing how much speed he's got in comparison to the others. Muggleton in third, Sean Kelly fourth, Richie Stanaway in fifth, Adrian Stratford sixth, Troy Cox seventh, Richard Hampstead eighth, Val Richards ninth, and John Emerson in 10th at the moment.
Just touched on that 2/10. Compared to what we normally have, I mean, it's quite big, but you got to remember this is a lap that's a minute 48 seconds long, so it's quite a long drive around here. So 2/10, I still think he's pretty damn tight.
Yeah, 2/10 around a 6 kilometre track is not much at all. But in this series, in the past, we've seen guys separated by 1,000th or even have tied lap times for pole. 0.2 of a second seems like quite a big gap.
Yeah, wait till we get to Watkins. I think what's that thing around the V8 Supercar? It's less than a minute, I'm pretty sure. The cups are pretty close to it.
Minute 10, I think we were doing last season with the chicane. Sorry, 2 seasons ago with the chicane. So I think we'll be looking about minute 6, minute 7 lap times, and there'll be nothing between it, and there'll be a lot of teamwork.
Yeah, so I spent too much time in cars with too much grip.
Just waiting for pictures to come through from qualifying. It won't be too far away.
Interesting one. This one's a bit like,
yeah.
I was about to say, a bit like Suzuka and some of those longer tracks where you're only going to really get maybe 3 or 4 runs at it, proper runs.
Yep.
And with a busy track in this final qualifying session, it'll be interesting to see if anyone can improve. Although it's going to be interesting to see if anyone lines up the draft with a teammate coming out of Oak Tree down that back straight.
Yeah, you have to time that really well. We saw earlier in the week a few guys trying to do it. It's quite tough to get that draft right and have your teammate in the right spot at the right time. Usually ends in tears, but we might see it happen in this last session.
Yeah, well, it can go, you can either get held off a bit on the exit of Oak Tree, or if they don't get out of the way before roller coaster, they can balk you all the way down through the last couple of corners, and it's definitely an awkward place to try and do it, but it definitely, I think, could find you a bit of time. That 2/10 that Ruggie is looking for at the moment, it could be in that draft.
Yeah, the qualifying split times, which we'll have on screen. Sector 1, you're looking around about 24-second flat first sector, and I believe Sector 2, we're looking at about 32 or 32.2 seconds flat, just from memory. We'll double check once we start getting the pictures through with the guys on a lap. definitely going to be a lot of action in this session. Guys will be pushing it as hard as they can, with as much as they can to get a better time in this last session. Only 20 minutes, of course.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how many cars go off at the South Bend on the qualifying runs as they're pushing hard. A lot of run off out there. You just want to get on the gas, but of course, you know, you run wide in iRacing, get that off track, and your lap's gone. So you just want to attack it so much around here.
Yeah, it's such a rewarding track as well for attacking a lap too. So you want to push as hard as you can to get that advantage, but it just absolutely sucks you in. Interesting face actually seeing out on track. Chris Tarrant having a bit of a drive this session. Haven't seen him out on track for a long time, but Josh Muggleton just starting his first flying lap in this session.
So he's got Justin Roger up ahead of him on an out lap, so other than that, he's got a pretty clear racetrack.
Get the first gauge on where he's sitting on this lap, a little bit sideways there, and off the track. A little bit off the pace too, about a tenth off where he needs to be. We're going to push on though. Talk about using all the road plus more.
Yeah, but watch this thing up here. You know, you said about how much air you can get off the curbs up through the S's here. On the limit, right about there. A lot of curb. That'll be very close to getting an off track, I think, too. But then again, I mean, I've driven around here a little bit, and you can really attack that. You know, you can run over the curb a fair bit without getting an off track. So it's a fine limit around there. Not too nice at wide exit. Who's going off the track then?
Yeah, that was about as much road as you want to use, no more. You're just all about getting the power down, making sure you get your gear changes right, because you can lose a tenth of a second just in getting your gear changes wrong. As we've seen with how close the times are, a tenth of a second's quite a lot.
Like Ruggier up ahead's pushing on. Remember he's on a. If we're on him, might be on a hot lap here. I'm not 100% sure, but he's pushed on this lap.
Yeah, Ruggie is also on a hot lap.
The Ruggier with the first one to come along with a competitive time. It's 1:49.219.
Muggleton a 1:49.123. But both those times off the pace and where they need to be. Both those guys pushing on for another lap, so that's a bit strange, not something we normally see. Guys usually don't circulate and continue to do laps, they're normally back in the pits and starting another lap.
Yeah, it's interesting, but look at the traffic there. I think that was John Latham off the road trying to get out of the way of Justin Ruggier, and Rugger's called it quits.
Ruggier, you see how much air he'll get here. Whoa, sideways! How did he hold on to that?
He's so committed up there through the S's, but I'll tell you what, that was out of control.
And it's end of his lap. Now, first driver to improve his personal best time is Michael McCabe.
Doing a good job. He's really enjoying this car. You know, he's been back on for a couple of rounds now and starting to get the hang of it again. Having a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's the big thing. He was really, when he come back in the first couple of laps he wasn't enjoying it a great deal because he was a bit off the pace, and then he realised that if he just goes and enjoyed the car again, he might actually start to get a bit more pace, which he's found.
He's been doing a little bit solo the last couple of weeks too, unfortunately.
Yeah, his teammates should help him out a bit more.
Oh, I'm sorry I've been in bed sick the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, I'm sorry too, Mick. Adrian Stratford about to start a flying lap.
Here Sean Kelly did a flying first sector on his last attempt, but
yeah, and second as well, boarded it not long after. See if we can go Adrian Stratford starting a hot lap. Been very impressed with him so far this season.
Yeah, he come in and made a big impact with the timers he was doing, and the first couple of races really didn't go to plan for him. Was involved in a couple of little things he probably didn't need to, but Saw last week at Lime Rock, a nice cool head, and he came out with the podium, I believe. So
Yeah, he did all he needed to do. 24.3 at the first sector, so probably a tenth off where he'd like to be, but still going to push on because there's a lot of time to be gained towards the end of this lap. Whoa, sideways.
A bit of fun out
That'll
there
end this
now, I
lap.
think.
Yeah, that's the end of this lap.
But he's been doing a good job. I mean, like I said, he got involved in a couple of those little incidents he didn't need to, and then he got his head down at Lime Rock and got that nice third place. Give him a lot of confidence going into this week.
Another driver that we've been talking about the last few weeks, Lee Day. Been very, very quick again this week. Finding himself about 13th position. Top 10 in the championship, top 5 in the championship. That's a fantastic effort with this strong field we have every week. Yeah,
I had a good battle with him at Laguna Seca actually. He's for a guy that hasn't spent much time in the car, he was very, very quick, and I think it's with helping out with Justin Ruggier and co from all the ANZ team. He's definitely a driver to keep an eye on in the future.
Well, Justin hasn't put in a lot of time this week in comparison to other weeks. He's had real life racing commitments over the weekend. Picked up a win in series he was running over the weekend.
Lee Day on his lap now. Doesn't really have anybody ahead of him for quite some time.
Got a lot of clear track. So, whoa, speedway. That's ended the lap pretty easy. Yeah, pretty early. Then Justin Ruggier crossing the line. He doesn't look like he's actually doing qualifying laps at the moment. He's doing.
Marlon McMullen, I saw there, just shot way out in front of him on the pit exit there. Not sure what that was about. Saw Robert Hartley go flying off on the inside to get out of the way, and Marlon just turned hard left onto the racing line.
He actually come up to the back of Hampstead, who was parked on the side, and Marlon just tried to get out of the way, and he's got a bit of damage to the side of his car from it. Yeah, definitely a couple of guys doing race runs or fuel runs. Sean Kelly looks like he's on a decent lap at the moment. No, he's on an out lap again. Kelly looks like he's the quickest driver to the first sector that we've seen in this session. Hampstead also a fast driver that we'll need to keep our eyes on. Troy Cox also putting in some decent first sectors as well, but unable to finish his fast lap. And 10 minutes gone in the session now. Go to Josh Muggleton on his flying lap. And he's aborted it very, very early. Troy Cox is on an out lap as well, sorry. Adrian Stratford, he's on a very, very good first sector. 24.1 to the first sector for Stratford. A little bit further off the pace than we've seen him the last few weeks. I think P6 or P7 at the moment. But this lap looks very, very quick time-wise. Oh, just keeps it on the track. Oh, and used too much curb, that's ended the lap.
Comes down the little club pit lane there. Gorge hasn't hit that stop sign up ahead.
John Kelly's just started flying lap. A few guys haven't. Kelly very, very fast in the first sector as well.
Robert Hartley, Marlon out there together. Two teammates who are trying to get a bit of that draft going on.
There'll be a fair bit of that in this session. Keep one on Kelly as he crosses the second sector. Not a bad second split time. He's got his teammate Latham behind as well. And Kelly slowed down to help Latham with his draft. This is actually looking like a good time from Latham.
we've seen shades of brilliance from John over a couple of rounds when he's been in and had a real red hot crack at it. He's had a lot of speed and a lot of pace.
Doesn't get a lot of time to practice as well, which makes it hard.
Yeah, definitely a very
Bit
quick
too much
driver.
curve. Yeah, for sure. He's definitely competitive. That time I think will be an improvement for him. Might see him shoot into, yes, improvement 49.3. Gains 2/10.
Helps Smiles now a little bit there too with the draft to start the lap.
Looking at McMullen finishing his lap. Doesn't improve on his lap. 49.8. Hartley also doesn't improve, a 150.2, so those guys tried to work together but didn't quite work.
Yeah, Michael McCabe on a good lap as he comes on the roller coaster now. The best part of the track by far, in my opinion. I absolutely love coming up there and you're so on the limit of the braking, you turn left, you turn right, trying to not lock up the tyres, and he comes now down into Hogpen though. He's had a bit of a famous incident down here. A couple of seasons ago he went flying through there. I believe Madison Down got a video on YouTube of it, but the car went flying off through Hogpen as he hit the curb on the wrong angle.
One of the funniest things I've ever seen is the car explode through the air. 150.0
his time.
No. So Hampstead's jumped up the timing sheet with a 148.4. That's his personal best. It's only 3/10 away from pole position now. Trying to find a driver that's on a good competitive lap. It's a little bit difficult.
This is clearly touching Matthew Barron. It's good to see him out there having a run in the V8 again.
He was leading the Grand Am series in the DP class for a couple of weeks.
So now coming out of the hog pen onto the front straight, bit of internet dramas. Wouldn't be a race or a qualifying session without Madison blinking in and out. He comes to the line. Hopefully it records his time. So 48.9.
8/10 away. He's doing race laps at that sort of pace. That'll be quite impressive, but it looks like he might be. Now Adrian Stratford on another flying lap. Yeah, he's on an out lap. That doesn't help, does it? Sean Kelly. Troy Cox, good first sector. To see him out on track, we don't see him race very often. Look nice and smooth through the S's. Not a bad second sector, so this could be an improved lap for Troy Cox.
Oh, he's got his teammate ahead of him though, going off the racetrack, Madison Down. That's going to, I dare say those two are going to try and line up together and get a big draft down this straight, but Madison goes and puts him off in the grass on the oak tree.
Well, at least he's getting that out of the way in qualifying and not in the race. Cox going to brake as late as he can here. That looks very nice.
He's run wide though.
Yes.
He was on the brake. He was so deep in the roller coaster there and lost, went in too deep, too fast. And exit through the hog pen now using a lot of the curb.
Oh, how did he keep that on the track?
Sideways, he's still sliding. That'll be, he's going to board that
in
lap
the pits,
he goes.
Yep. Looked good for 16 corners.
You do all that good work you said, and then you know, such a long track, and you get to the end, and boom, she's done. Bit of a slide. who's out there in the lap at the moment? We've got a couple minutes to go now left in the session.
Sean Kelly again putting down very, very good first sectors, but he's losing time in the middle of the track. So he's just about to start another flying lap. We might watch the start of his lap and see how he goes through the start here. But you're very, very quick at the start of this lap through the first sector. Consistently the fastest driver on track in this first sector. Interesting, when we were talking to Muggo before, he goes down to first in the turn one. Kelly only uses second there and early into third as well. Trying to eliminate that wheel spin. 23.9 at the first sector. This is quick. Quickest we've seen.
Very interesting livery in that car too. I'm just looking at it again now. I quite like it.
Yeah, I like it too. I think it's quite unique what Sean's painted on that car.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that's the end of the lap. That was still
South Bend
quick
there. That
too.
was quick.
That was a good lap. Unlucky for Kelly. The last chance for a few guys now. Hampstead about to start a flying lap. They've got a bit of time left in him, I think. Hampstead could make a late run. He's only 3/10 away now. Starting his last lap with a minute to go on the clock. Start this lap. 24 flat to the first sector, so this looks very, very quick. Nice and controlled too. The car doesn't look like it's reacting too aggressively over the curbs. The other car's just bouncing off these curves, but this looks nice and smooth.
Be interesting to see how it goes through the S's though. A lot more controlled than a lot of the curve, and he's a little bit sideways there. He's not on the ideal line coming into South Bend. He's run wide every lap over. Yep. He was so quick, and that's the problem. Like, you carry so much speed coming into through the S's, and you come into the South Bend, and then it's really hard to get the car pointed back, and especially being so heavy, to get it from the left side of the road to the right, then back to the left.
Yeah. Second flag is out.
John Latham on a good first set. There we go again.
Oh.
South Bend. Throughout the fourth or fifth driver to do that. He's had a big moment there. He's waiting for his teammate, Mitch Laberhall. Oh. Michael McKay there.
McKay there just missed out.
And he hit the wall at the Oak Tree, maybe lap over. It's all gone wrong here towards the end for some of these drivers.
Troy Cox is on a pretty decent lap though. 24.1 to the first sector and a 32.4. They're not too bad at times. If Cox can pull it up this time, this is where he lost a lot of time last attempt.
Wide. So that should be everybody done.
McMullen's got a little bit of draft, a bit of help from the teammate, but maybe from Nathan Britton.
And Nathan pulled out a bit too early there though, I think.
Yep.
No, should still be, if Marlon's done a good couple of sectors out, might still be good enough for an improvement.
Really good first sector, maybe a little bit off the pace in the second, but the second away from pole, so even that sort of time, it's only 3/10 away from where we're seeing the optimal time. This could be an improvement for McMullen. Oh, and around he goes. That's ended the session. The results of qualifying on screen. Richard Hampstead, fastest driver in the session. The biggest mover, he'll gain a couple of positions on the grid. Josh Muggleton, Madison Down, Justin Ruggier, all posting race run times. Same with Lee Day. He was able to actually, improve his time. John Latham also improved his best time for the week. A lot of other drivers not quite able to improve their times. We'll quickly just wait for the official qualifying results to update. We'll run through the actual grid for the race coming up tonight. It'll be Madison Downs starting from pole position. Justin Ruggier in second. Josh Muggleton in third. Richard Hampstead fourth. John Kelly in fifth. Richie Stanaway in sixth. Adrian Stratford seventh. Troy Cox in eighth. Val Richards in ninth. And John Emerson in 10th position. We'll take a couple of minutes break. We'll be back at 8:15 Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. And you're watching V8 Online's live coverage of the iRacing.com V8 Supercar official online series presented by the V8 Online Superstore, V8 Supercars Fan Group and Direct Clutch Services.